Have you ever felt like you're stuck in a cycle? Like life is repeating itself, over and over again, and you just can't break free? Maybe you've gotten used to this feeling, like it's a natural part of your everyday life. But here's the truth, this cycle doesn't have to be your reality. What's happening to you is not an inevitable sequence of events. There's something happening behind the scenes, an invisible force that keeps you in the same place, a pattern you can't seem to break, no matter how hard you try. But what if I told you there's something much deeper going on? Something that could be the key to freeing you from this cycle. Change is not out there, waiting to happen. It begins right now, in this moment, and it's within your reach. It's time to stop and reflect. What are you doing with your own destiny? What's holding you back from going beyond? Stay with me, because you're about to discover the key to breaking the cycle that has been limiting you for so long. You're about to embark on a journey of self-discovery. Life is asking something new from you. And this change begins with one simple, yet powerful, decision. No matter how long or difficult the road has been up to this point. What matters now is what you do with what's ahead of you. You feel like something is holding you back, don't you? There's a weight, a sense that you're in a place of stagnation, where everything seems unchangeable. But what if I told you that weight could be lifted? That what you've been carrying for so long could finally be left behind. Because believe me, the transformation you're seeking is not so far off. It begins the moment you decide you want more. The choice is yours. But before we talk about what lies ahead, we need to look at what's preventing you from moving forward. What's keeping you stuck in this repetitive cycle? Do you really understand what's behind this? You might not see it now, but there's something greater influencing your decisions, your steps, your choices. Something you've ignored or simply haven't noticed. The truth is, you're facing a pattern that goes beyond what seems obvious. It's not just external circumstances affecting you, but something deeper, something invisible that dictates the direction of your life without you even realizing it. How many times have you felt that, despite your efforts, something was blocking you? You try, you give it your all, but in the end, you always seem to return to the same point. This is the conflict. Something inside you is repeating the same mistakes, the same choices, and you can't seem to break the cycle. Maybe it's the fear of the unknown, or maybe it's the lack of self-confidence. Perhaps you've let the past influence your present so much that the future starts to feel like a continuation of what has already happened. And do you know what's even more unsettling? This pattern isn't something that can be fixed with simple external actions, or more effort. There's an internal force at play here, a silent struggle that cannot be ignored. You feel this conflict in your chest, don't you? Every time you decide to take a step forward, something inside you hesitates. Doubt starts to creep in, the voice of, "I'm not capable," echoes, and suddenly you find yourself back at square one. You might be asking yourself, why does this happen to me? And that's where the real challenge lies. The problem isn't what you're doing, but what's happening inside you. What you haven't yet recognized is that this battle is not just against external circumstances, but against your own mind and the limiting beliefs you carry. This cycle is not a mistake, it's not something that just happens. It is a consequence of something deeper that you need to understand. Something that goes beyond the surface, something you need to face head-on. Because, no matter how much you try to ignore it, no matter how much fear wants to hold you back, what's at stake here is much greater than you realize. The only thing that can break this cycle, and finally set you free, is the decision to confront what is truly preventing you from moving forward. And to do that, you need courage. Because the first step toward change isn't what you do, but what you decide to see. Now, imagine you're not alone in this struggle. Maybe, for a while, you felt lost, believing everything depended solely on your own strength. But the truth is, there's something bigger happening behind the scenes, a force that has been trying to guide you all along. Perhaps you've ignored this presence, maybe you even thought it didn't exist. But I'm here to tell you that it's closer than you think. This force isn't trying to control your life, but it's just waiting for the right moment to act, and that moment is now. Maybe you felt, in a subtle way, that something inside you was asking you to stop, to look, to pay attention to something that once seemed irrelevant. Maybe it was that intuition you ignored, or that fleeting thought that crossed your mind, saying, "This isn't right, something needs to change." Know that this wasn't just a feeling. It was an attempt to guide you, to show you what you need to see to break this cycle. It has been working silently, often through small signs you didn't even notice. Maybe it was a moment of clarity that came out of nowhere, an opportunity that appeared without explanation, or even a person who crossed your path and made you question the choices you've been making. This intervention is happening all the time, but it can only be fully effective if you recognize its presence and choose to collaborate. What's at stake here is not the strength of the external struggle, but your internal willingness to accept that there's something greater that wants to help you get out of this maze. This force, this presence, will not force you to do anything. It cannot. The power is in your hands. But it is here to offer guidance that can transform everything. All you need to do is open your eyes and allow it to enter your life in a more conscious way. It's as if you're standing in front of an illuminated path, but up until now, you haven't been able to see it because of the clouds blocking your vision. What happens from this moment on depends solely on you. The question is, are you ready to accept this help, or will you continue walking alone, ignoring what is being shown to you? The time to act has arrived. There's no more time to hesitate, no more time to stand still. This force is here to help you, but for it to enter your life, you need to take the first step. And the first step is to recognize that, yes, there's something greater at stake. Recognize that what you're living is not just an endless cycle, but a disguised opportunity. And that you are, right now, at the turning point of your own transformation. Now that you've recognized the presence of this force, something even more crucial needs to be done: action. Imagine for a moment that you are facing an invisible wall. You can feel its presence, you know it's there, separating you from what you desire most, but you can't see it clearly. This wall is built by your own doubts, fears, and choices you've made in the past. And this is exactly where the tension grows, because while you feel there's something greater waiting to help you, you also feel something is holding you back, an invisible force that is making you hesitate. Every step you take seems to pull you further from what you want to achieve, and the feeling of frustration starts to grow. You feel like you're trying so hard, but still can't find a way to cross this obstacle. This wall, which at first seemed like just a small hindrance, now feels insurmountable. It becomes higher, thicker, harder to overcome. But the worst part is that you begin to doubt your ability to break through it. What's going on inside you is a constant battle, the desire to move forward and the insecurity about what lies on the other side. And this is where the force that has been by your side comes into play. It won't act for you, but it will show you how to overcome this wall. Imagine that with every thought of doubt that crosses your mind, it offers you an invisible key, a tool you need to break this obstacle. However, to use this key, you need to trust. You need to make a conscious choice. The wall will only continue to grow and strengthen as long as you stay still, hesitating, waiting for something to happen without you doing your part. Now, see the difference. Imagine that instead of retreating or continuing to try aimlessly, you decide to look at the key being offered and ask yourself, what can I do now to break down this wall? The decision to act is in your hands. No matter how high the wall seems, the key to crossing it lies in your choices. Every small action, no matter how simple it may seem, is breaking down the invisible walls that separated you from your purpose. What you're feeling now isn't just a fleeting frustration. It's the turning point. The wall you see isn't unbeatable, it's a reflection of the internal barriers you've built over time. But the good news is that you have the power to change that. The force at your disposal won't solve everything for you, but it will help you see a way to get out of the place you're stuck in. This is the decisive moment. It's not about the size of the obstacle, but about the power you have to act. The wall that once seemed insurmountable is about to crumble, if you're willing to make the decision to act now. Now, you're at a turning point. The wall, which seemed indestructible, is starting to show signs of weakness. Every doubt, every fear you've overcome, is making it lose some of its strength. But there's a crucial detail: it won't fall on its own. You've realized that the only way to truly overcome this obstacle is by making a decision that comes from within. A choice that will change everything. Have you ever stopped to think about what's really at stake? This isn't just another situation where you move forward hoping things will get better. This is a decision that can shape the future you're about to live. And that choice is in your hands right now. Every moment you delay, every "I can't" you tell yourself, strengthens the wall that separates you from your true desire. But at the same time, every thought of action, every conscious step toward what you want, destroys a little bit of that wall. The turning point is now. Will you continue letting doubt paralyze you, or will you take action and allow the force that has been working by your side to help you overcome what once seemed impossible? Think carefully. You are in control of this situation, more than you may have realized up until now. What you decide today will echo in every one of your next steps, shaping your journey from here on out. Take a pause. Breathe deeply and really feel the weight of this choice. It's not simple, I know. This isn't an easy decision, as it requires commitment. Commitment to yourself, to your dreams, to your transformation. It demands that you go beyond what you already know, that you confront the fears and internal blocks you've carried for so long. And most importantly, it requires you to take a risk. The future you desire won't be achieved with another, maybe, or with yet another attempt that doesn't go all the way. It will be earned when you decide to take the first step, without looking back. Now, Think about what this means for you. Where do you want to be in a year? Where do you want to be in 5 years? What do you feel when you think about the future you haven't lived yet, but that you know you deserve? These feelings, these desires, are ahead of you, waiting for you. But the only way to reach them is by making the decision to act now. What will you choose? The choice is yours. What you decide today will set the pace for your journey. You can stay still, looking at the wall that still seems insurmountable, or you can start breaking it down, one piece at a time, with the choices you make from now on. The critical decision in your hands isn't just a matter of wanting or not. It's an affirmation that you're ready to live the life you've always wanted, and that you have the power to change your reality. This is the moment. It's in your hands. And, more importantly, it's in your mind. What you decide now will determine what comes next. Now that you've come this far, it's time to reflect deeply on what is truly at stake. You've realized that what seemed like an endless cycle is not a prison, it's an opportunity. An opportunity that you can choose to transform. The future you've longed for isn't somewhere far off, waiting for you. It's within your reach, ready to be shaped, and all you have to do is make the decision to reach it. It's important for you to understand, you're not alone on this journey. Throughout this process, there has been something present, something that's been working in the background to guide you, to support you. Many times, you may not have noticed, but there has always been a force in motion, waiting for the right moment to act. Now, that moment has arrived, and you hold the key. The key to unlocking not only the wall that seemed impenetrable but also the future you deserve. The journey ahead won't be easy, I won't lie to you. It will require patience, effort, and an immense will to keep moving forward, even when everything seems difficult. But what you need to understand is that true transformation doesn't happen when everything is comfortable. It happens when you decide to step out of your comfort zone and embrace what's to come, even if it's challenging. Because when you do this, you'll discover something incredible. The difficulties are not obstacles, they are catalysts for growth. They are the tools you need to build the strongest version of yourself. Now, as you look to the future, ask yourself, who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? What will you do to become the person you're destined to be? The answer is in your hands, and it starts with a single choice. The decision not to let fear or doubt define who you are, or who you will be. The decision to take control and move forward with courage, determination, and confidence. The future you desire is already waiting for you. It's not far off, nor is it unattainable. It's right in front of you, and the only thing you need to do to reach it is to make the decision to act now. Don't wait any longer. Don't hesitate. What lies beyond these invisible barriers is not an impossible dream. It's the life you deserve, and it's ready to be lived, but only if you choose to walk toward it. Remember this, the life you've always wanted is within your reach. The only thing you need to do now is make the decision to go after it. And when you do, there will be no limits to what you can achieve. The time to act is now. Make your choice.